One thing I will say about the decision this year for the winner of King and Queen of the Ring to get world title opportunities at SummerSlam is you also got to remember what takes place in between it. You see, we got Clash at the Castle, and we only have one match confirmed, which is Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. And everybody's expecting, hey, it's in Glasgow, Drew's going to win. That's very obvious, if they don't decide to twist us. But then after Clash at the Castle, you have Money in the Bank in Toronto. And that's the event you need to keep an eye on. Yes, Clash in the Castle is big because that's going to pretty much set the tone for the potential Drew McIntyre CM Punk match when it comes to the world title at SummerSlam, if not, later on. But when we really think about it, ladies and gentlemen, Money in the Bank, is basically the fifth biggest pay-per-view of the year. It's the pay-per-view outside of SummerSlam of the summer. And what it does this year is it makes things very unpredictable. Because, when you look at the fact that you got Nia Jax taking on Bayley, that's pretty much penciled in unless something happens at SummerSlam. And you have Gunther for the World Championship, whether it's Drew McIntyre, CM Punk, Gunther, whether it's Gunther, Priest, McIntyre, Punk, whatever the case may be. Maybe even Seth Rollins, for all we know. Money in the Bank, to me, is the one pay-per-view this year that really, the winners of those matches are going, to me, be the ones that will throw the monkey wrench into plans. I mean, everybody's projecting that since she didn't win Queen of the Ring, that Tiffany Stratton, is pretty much a lock for Miss Money in the Bank. And I would agree with that. She does feel like she is that kind of individual that would be suited as a heelish, likable heel, whatever you want to call her, that could, not only win Money in the Bank, but cash it in when you least expect it. But do it in a way do it basically against the most unlikely of opponents, And then when you look at the men's side, well, that's totally something, that's totally interesting as well, because you got a whole, I guess you could say, lineup of names from both Raw, SmackDown that, could definitely vie to be Money in the Bank. LA Knight, Chad Gable, Bronson Reed, who else? Carmelo Hayes, you name it. You have a lot of talent. Braun Breaker, the list could go on. Eon Dragunov, again, it's just Ricochet. I mean, the list is just endless. So why do I bring this all up? Because right now, we seem to be forgetting that Money in the Bank is happening in July. It's happening in Toronto. And when I read what JD said in response to what Triple H announced, when Triple H made this announcement a couple days ago, the day before King of the Ring, JD basically said it best. JD from Off the Script, that is. JD from NY206. He said it best, that this makes things more unpredictable. And he wasn't, just saying that because, hey, you don't know who's going to win, King and Queen of the Ring. No. Pretty much in a lot of people's eyes, knowing who was in the finals, that was a foregone conclusion. But he's saying that it makes it more unpredictable because now, not only do you have the winners pretty much booked and set for championship matches at SummerSlam, but, you also have to add in the fact that you have, Money in the Bank sandwiched in between. And that Money in the Bank will throw a wrench possibly into those plans. Because think about it. You could have Nia Jax beat Bayley at SummerSlam, but then all of a sudden, just as she's celebrating, out comes Tiffy with the briefcase, nails her in the back with it, says, I'm cashing in. and then goes up, does her prettiest moonsault ever. 1, 2, 3. Tiffy becomes champion at SummerSlam. Big moment for her, and she would have rightfully, earned that moment because she would have won Money in the Bank, the month prior, and legally she could cash in anytime she wanted, and there you go. And imagine the reaction, the crazy babyface reaction she'll get in Cleveland Brown Stadium when that happens. I mean, you thought her reaction in Australia was big? She'll get an even bigger one here. That's if they go with her. And the same with the men's. Right now you have Gunther facing whoever the world champion is, who's a one-on-one triple threat or fatal four-way. Imagine Gunther walking out winning that world championship, and then all of a sudden here comes Mr. Money in the Bank, from behind, and either they attack him or pretty much they come down and say, hey, next month at whatever the event's going to be, I'm cashing in this against you, or hey, if you still have something in you, I want to cash in on you now, or I want to cash this in, like I said, catch this in on you next month or at Survivor Series. Imagine that. Imagine that possibility. I mean, a lot of people are saying that, Triple H teased us with a possible Eon Dragunov Gunther match in the semifinals of King of the Ring. We didn't get that. So who's to say he's not saving that for Eon Dragunov winning Money in the Bank and then coming down confronting Gunther after he becomes world champion and says, let's do it all over again. You never know. And then again, like I said, you have the likes of Carmelo Hayes, Braun Breaker, Randy Orton, Kevin Owens. You have the bloodline like Tongaleo and Tama Tonga and, Solo Sikoa, if you will. And maybe even a debuting Jacob Fatu. I mean, Jimmy Uso. Well, not Jimmy Uso. Well, Jimmy maybe if they wanted to throw a surprise twist. But Jey Uso? I mean, come on. Jey Uso coming in and cashing in against Gunther, basically when his back is turned. Or maybe, let's say, Drew, out of frustration, losing the title, like 2 months after winning it, takes out Gunther, and then out comes Jey. I mean, come on. Who won't want to see that moment? Jey knows, hey, I got the briefcase. I can do it. Wouldn't be anything wrong about it. And people love me. There you go. I'm just saying. Or heck, how about a debuting Uncle Howdy, Bo Dallas? I'm just saying. Just think about that. Money in the Bank is the pay-per-view people have to watch out for because it's going to be the wild card, event of the summer. Because right now, you have Gunther and Nia Jax, storyline-wise, the laser focus on SummerSlam, right? The laser focus on who the opponents will be, right? But because of that laser focus, they're overlooking Money in the Bank. They're overlooking whoever will reach up and grab those briefcases. So to me, again, to paraphrase what JD said, off the script, Triple H making that announcement, making it official for SummerSlam, at least on the challenger side, definitely makes things unpredictable now because now, you don't know who is going to begin the fall season for WWE. The season premieres of Raw and SmackDown as champions because you might think it's going to be Gunther. You might think it might be Nia Jax. But it might be someone that you least expect at the end of SummerSlam. But to me, I do agree. Triple H's announcement has definitely made things unpredictable, and the key reason for that is Money in the Bank. So keep an eye on that. That's the pay-per-view. It's sandwiched in between Clash of the Castle and SummerSlam. Keep an eye on that. The winners of that, they have the right to cash in. Keep an eye on that. But let me know what your thoughts are. What are your thoughts on Money in the Bank? Money in the Bank basically being the wild card pay-per-view the one that pretty much is going to throw a monkey wrench with its winners, monkey wrench into the works with its winners coming, come SummerSlam. What are your thoughts? Let me know down below. And until then, and in the live chat as well. And until then, I am out.